You didn't leave all at once, you stepped back inch by inch. Smile stayed, but something changed in the way you'd flinch. I felt the space begin to grow before you ever said a word. And every step you didn't take was louder than what I heard. I kept reaching across the space, like closeness could be forced to stay. But distance doesn't rush or fight, it waits you out, it learns you by. The distance learned my name, it called me every night when I stayed up wondering how love slipped out of sight. It sat beside me patiently, watched me try to pretend. The distance learned my name before you reached the end. I started talking to the quiet like you knew what I meant. I memorized your absence more than your presence. You were there but not with me, your heart had moved ahead. And I was loving what remained while you loved what was next. I blame myself, I blame the time, I blame the words we didn't try. But space doesn't need a reason why, it just arrives and then it stays. The distance learned my name, it felt like home somehow. It knew my fears, my half-said prayers, the way I break down now. You faded small, I stayed the same. That's how I understood. The distance learned my name before I knew it could. Maybe distance isn't cold, maybe it's just honest space. It shows you what you're holding alone and what you shouldn't chase. I don't hate the way you left, I just hate how long I stayed. Learning how to breathe with less, learning what to give away. I stopped calling out for you when I heard myself instead. The distance didn't answer back, it just stayed until I did. The distance learned my name when I finally let go, when I stopped trying to close the gap and let the silence show. It didn't hurt the way it did once I stopped defending you. The distance learned my name and taught me how to choose. I don't fear the space anymore, I know what it's for. Some love fades quietly away, so you can hear yourself say goodbye. was filled with everything except the words we used to need. Your phone face down, my eyes awake, counting breaths I couldn't take. We sat so close it felt unkind, how far we were in our own minds. Every thought too sharp to say, so we let the silence stay. I rehearsed 1,000 ways to ask if you were slipping away, but fear convinced my tongue to sleep, and the quiet chose to speak. That was the night we didn't speak, when everything was on its feet, balanced on a single sound that never came, that let us down. No goodbye, no closing door, just knowing we were less than before. That was the night we didn't speak, and something in us couldn't breathe. The clock kept time like it knew too much, every second daring us to say the thing we both could feel, but neither wanted to make it real. I watched your shadow on the wall grow distant without moving at all. We were there but not the same, love holding back its own name. You looked at me like you might ask, but turned away at the last half chance. And in that pause I felt it break, the choice we didn't make. That was the night we didn't speak, when everything was on its feet, balanced on a single sound that never came, that let us down. No goodbye, no closing door, just knowing we were less than before. That was the night we didn't speak, and something in us couldn't breathe. It stayed inside. That we did not. Maybe silence is an empty air, maybe it's truth. We're too scared to where we loved each other. I know that's true, but love still needs a voice to move. I don't blame you, I don't blame me, I just wish we'd been braver then, because some things don't end with words, they end when words don't come. I still hear what we didn't say in the quiet of certain days. One sentence could have changed the arc, or at least turned on a light in the dark. There was the night we didn't speak, when holding on and staying weak. We chose the calm instead of truth, and lost what honesty could do. No goodbye, no final plea, just silence choosing for you and me. That was the night we didn't speak, and that's when we began to leave. If I could go back, I wouldn't shout, I'd just say the thing I swallowed down. Some endings happen quietly, like the night we didn't speak. Gave you pieces I didn't know were mine, hid them deep, tried to disguise the quiet cracks I thought you'd never see. But somehow you found the key. I left my laughter, left my pain, left my courage in the rain. And even though you walked away, some of it with you chose to stay. I thought love was holding tight, but some parts fly before the night. You didn't take them to destroy, you held them softly, kept the joy. The part of me you kept still whispers when I sleep. It lingers in the shadows, it follows when I leave. I don't know if I miss it or smile, or wish I'd kept it all the while. The part of me you kept has grown where I have wept. I see it in the way you move, the quiet strength I left with you. Not everything returns to me. Some gifts are given silently. I carry what I didn't give, the lessons, the ways I live. But some of me is in your hands, in places you may never understand. I thought giving meant I lost, but some things are measured by cost. You held them gently without claim, and that part of me still bears your name. The part of me you kept still whispers when I sleep. It lingers in the shadows, it follows when I leave. I don't know if I miss it or smile, or wish I'd kept it all the while. The part of me you kept has grown where I have wept. Maybe love is this after all, the quiet parts we cannot call. It's the pieces we entrust to someone else to keep, to trust. I don't regret what I let go. I just wonder if you know that what you keep I still can feel, and it helps my heart to heal. I gave you what I thought would break, but you kept it for both our sake. A tender part I can't reclaim, and that's how love will stay the same. The part of me you kept still whispers when I sleep. It lingers in the shadows, it follows when I leave. I don't know if I miss it or smile, or wish I'd kept it all the while. The part of me you kept has grown where I have wept. I'll walk forward, I'll stand tall, with the pieces that I call mine again, yet shared with you. The part of me you kept is true. We drew the lines we never crossed, chased the moments, counted the cost. Your hand slipped slowly out of mine. I didn't see it at the time. The rooms we filled with half-spent days echoed softly in a fragile haze. Every almost left its mark, every goodbye whispered in the dark. I thought love could bend, could wait, but some things close before their fate. This is the shape of our ending, not a fight, not a scream, just a quiet that kept bending every thread of what we dreamed. I held the pieces, you held the space, we never lost, we just misplaced. This is the shape of our ending, and it's sharper than we your face, memorized your absence, left no trace. The plans we made, the dreams we wove, now float above like feathers of love. We lingered long in what could be, but time moved on relentlessly. I kept my voice in check, restrained, and in the silence we both remained. I thought endings would hit like fire, but some just whisper and retire. Some love isn't meant to last. Maybe it's measured in the past, in tender pauses and soft goodbyes, in moments that pass under quiet skies. I don't regret, I don't blame, I just hold the lessons and your name. The shape is jagged yet still defined, a memory carved into my mind. No one tells you how it ends. No one says when to let go. You just learn to live with the shame and how it changes what you know. This is the shape of our ending, not a fight, not a scream, just a quiet that kept bending every thread of what we dreamed. I held the pieces, you held the space, we never lost, we just misplaced. This is the shape of our ending, and it's sharper than we believe. Time will blur, hearts will mend, some shapes endure, some simply bend. The shape of our quiet corners of all our days. I said the words I shouldn't have. Let them slip, let them carve the past. I watched your eyes fall somewhere far and never found a way to repair the scar. I meant to hold you, meant to stay, but pride and fear got in the way. Now every echo, every track reminds me of the time I never took back. I told myself it's over now, but some moments don't allow forgiveness easy or quick to find. Some words remain like knives in mud. It's the time I never took back, the love I let slip through my hands, the silence I let fill the cracks, the hurt I left unplanned. I wish I could turn the tide, I wish I could step inside and undo the past attack of the time I never took back. I replay the nights, the empty rooms, the words I gave that sealed our gloom. I thought I'd learn, I thought I'd grow, but the weight remains, and I still know some things can't be fixed with tears. Some things live on through years. I carry them, I carry the lack of the time I never took back. I told myself that love survives, but some things linger in our lives. Not the fights, not the pride we tried, of the time I never took back. It's the time I never took back, the love I let slip through my hands, the silence I let fill the cracks, the hurt I left unpaid. I hold the lessons, keep them intact, from the time I never took back. The road was long, but it felt right. Windows down, talking through the night. We knew the turns, we knew the signs. Said just a little more time. We shared the weight, we shared the miles. Laughed like we were already safe. Didn't see the warning lights till we were too tired to break. I swear we saw the porch light glow somewhere we both wanted to go. Close enough to feel it real, too far away to ever feel. We almost made it home, had our hands on the door, felt the warmth on our skin, but couldn't step in anymore. We were right on the line between leaving and staying alone. We didn't get lost, we didn't roam. We almost made it home. We talked about the life we'd built, the quiet days, the growing old. Every promise sounded solid, every dream felt bought and sold. But cracks don't shout, they whisper slow. In the spaces we ignore, we kept driving past the signs, saying this is what love's for. I thought effort would be enough to carry us when things got rough, but wanting isn't always proof that love knows how to follow through. We almost made it home, had our hands on the door, felt the warmth on our skin, but couldn't step anymore. We were right on the line between leaving and staying alone. We didn't get lost, we didn't roam. We almost made it home. Maybe home isn't just a place, maybe it's the pace we keep. Maybe love needs equal steps, not one heart dragging its feet. I don't blame the road we took or the dreams we tried to own. Some journeys teach you everything before you ever get home. I still dream we'd pull it off, still see us safe inside. But dreams don't always mean regret. Sometimes they mean you tried. We almost made it home, close enough to believe that we could have been forever, if forever came easy. We were right on the line, and that's the hardest place to know. That almost hurts more than love. We almost made it home. I won't forget how far we came, or how real it felt back then. Some loves don't fail, they just stop short. a mile before the end. We almost made it home. I thought the hardest part was gone, the nights I cried, the fights we won. But shadows linger where light retreats, and echoes hide in quiet streets. I braced for storms, I learned to bend. I thought the pain had reached its end, but love has corners I can't foresee, and it found a way back to me. I told myself I'd moved on fast, but some wounds know what hurts me last. It's what hurt me last, not the leaving, not the fight, not the tears that fell at night. It's the quiet that stayed. It's what hurt me last, not the words you used to say, not the love that slipped away, but the silence that remains. I counted losses, traced the lines of every almost, every sign. I thought I'd healed, thought I was free, but something whispered quietly. It wasn't anger, it wasn't blame, it wasn't love I couldn't name. It was the pause, the empty space where I still searched for your face. I thought the worst was over fast, but some pains know what hurts you last. It's what hurt me last, not the leaving, not the fight, not the tears that fell at night. It's the quiet that stayed. It's what hurt me last, not the words you used to say, not the love that slipped away, but the silence that remains. Maybe some wounds don't scream or shout, they just sit there silent, proud. They teach you how to feel alone, even when you think you've grown. I don't hate what came to pass, I just honor what hurts me last. I let the quiet speak its truth, I let it settle, let it soothe. It's a weight, but not a chain, a reminder of love and pain. It's what hurt me last, not the leaving, not the fight, not the tears that fell at night. It's the quiet that stayed. It's what hurt me last, not the words you used to say, not the love that slipped away, but the silence that remains. Time moves on, hearts will mend. Some pains linger, some transcend. What hurt me last taught me to stand again. bigger once you were gone. Like it forgot what it was built upon. Your side of the bed still dips at night, a quiet shade in the low lamplight. I packed your things, but not the air. Your name still lives in everywhere. I thought leaving meant relief, but some things stay beneath the grief. I waited for the ache to fade, for time to take what love had made. But loss doesn't always steal. Sometimes it leaves you with what's real. What stayed after you left was the way I still listened for your steps, the patience I learned the hard way, the love I gave that didn't get spent. What stayed after you left were the parts of me you never kept. Not the pain, not the regret, just the truth of who I am. What stayed after you left? I still catch myself turning to say something you'd laugh at anyway. I still reach for a hand that's gone. Old habits die when love moves on. But I'm stronger in the quiet now. I face myself, I don't look down. You took your leave and I won the rest, the parts of me that passed the test. I thought losing you would erase every dream we couldn't save, but some things grow in broken ground and teach your heart what stays around. What stayed after you left was the courage I hadn't met yet, the way I learned to stand alone and still feel home in my own chest. What stayed after you left were the lessons carved in my breath, not the nights I couldn't forget, but the strength I didn't expect. What stayed after you left? You were a chapter, not the book, a moment I needed to look at what I give, what I allow, what love should feel like now. I don't carry you like a wound, I carry you like a proof that I can love and still survive and choose myself and still be kind. I lost us, yeah, that part is true, but I didn't lose myself with you. I found her slowly, breath by breath. Yet what stayed after you left? What stayed after you left was a heart that knows its death, the way I don't disappear just to keep someone else near. What stayed after you left was the life I hadn't met yet, not the love that couldn't be kept, but the one that lives in me. What stayed after you left? You're gone, and that's okay. Some things don't leave when people fade. I didn't lose it all, I swear. I found myself still standing there in what stayed after you left. I woke up thinking it was new, a different sky, a different view. But the streets were the same, the faces too. The heart I carried didn't break through. I tried to speak, I tried to start to rewrite the rhythm of my heart. But every step, every day felt like I was running the same old way. I told myself tomorrow would bend, that the sun could teach the night to end. But some things stay, and some things stay strange. Even when we hope the world will change. When the world didn't change, I held my breath, I held my hand, hoping for a spark in the quiet land. I was looking for a sign in a place that stayed the same. When the world didn't change, I realized some things remain. The clock ticked on, the seasons passed. I thought the pain wouldn't last, but the air still whispered what I knew. The things I lost, the things I drew. I built my dreams on shifting sand, hoping life would understand. But the ground was steady, the sky was gray. Some things refused to move away. I thought courage could ignite the flame, but some nights whisper the same old name. You can try to rearrange, but it won't alter what stays the same. When the world didn't change, I held my breath, I held my hand, hoping for a spark in the quiet land. I was looking for a sign in a place that stayed the same. When the world didn't change, I realized some things remained. Maybe love doesn't shift the stars, maybe life just leaves its scars. But standing still doesn't mean defeat. Sometimes staying is how we meet the truth we thought we'd never find, the quiet corners of the mind. I may not move the world away, but I can choose the light, I'll stay. I let go of the need for change. I let the stillness rearrange the way I see, the way I breathe. When the world doesn't change, when the world didn't change, I held my breath, I held my hand, hoping for a spark in the quiet land. I was looking for a sign in a place that stayed the same. When the world didn't change, the world may stay, but I have grown. I can stand, I can own the pieces of life I can arrange, even when the world doesn't change. I changed the streets, I changed the view. New conversations, someone new. I packed away what we once were, told myself the ache would blur. But in the quiet between my breaths, in the places I didn't expect, there's a pull I can't outpace, a familiar steady weight. I thought distance would disconnect, but some things don't respect the end. This is where the feeling never left. It didn't fade, it didn't rest. It learned new ways to settle in beneath my skin, beneath my steps. I don't chase it, I don't fight, I just let it tell me why. This is where the feeling never left, and I finally stopped calling it regret. I see your shape in who I've grown, and what I want and what I want. Every line I'll never cross, every risk I've learned the cost. You're not a ghost, not a sign, just a truth that kept its time. Not something pulling me back, just something real I never lacked. I thought healing meant a race, but healing just gives things space. This is where the feeling never left. It didn't break, it didn't bend. It softened up, it changed its name, but it stayed honest in the end. I don't reach back, I don't rewind, I just let it pass me by. This is where the feeling never left, and I'm stronger now that I accept. Maybe love doesn't disappear, maybe it just learns new years, new seasons, quieter ground, where it doesn't need to sound. I don't belong to what we were, but I honor what still stirs. Not to stay, not to return, just to know what I've learned. I don't miss you the way I did. I miss who I was back then. But even that has found a place where it doesn't want to sit. This is where the feeling never left, but it doesn't own me yet. It walks beside me, not ahead, a part of me, not where I am. just quietly remain, not as chains, not as theft, just the place where the feeling never left.